One spot. Alabama businesses now have access to a centralized statewide electronic filing and remittance system for sales, use, and rental taxes, allowing city and county taxes to be filed along with state taxes through a single website, myalabamataxes.alabama.gov.
I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
And this is the Iron Bowl Hour.
Or as we like to call it, the show that wants to go on record as having coined the phrase swaining injury, as in, is he hurt? No, he's just swaining injury.
On tonight's show. All right, how do I quit? How do I quit?
You gotta either tap out or just say I quit.
Okay, well, I'm not ready. If LSU had to pick a new mascot, what would be the best fit? Reed, it's time for another Agree to Disagree, and I think we can all agree that No Shave November is really starting to fill in for me one weekend here.
I didn't shave this morning either, Will.
Week, 7 days. Tension is building between Bielema and Malzahn, and there's no sign of the two getting along anytime soon. Is Auburn, Arkansas turning into a legitimate rivalry?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Not only is this a rivalry and a legitimate one, it's a grudge match. Well, this is like a cage match. It's like a Thunderdome sort of situation.
No, wait, you're confusing Brett Bielema with a professional wrestler, Reed.
For obvious reasons, yeah.
Yeah, I know he looks that way.
Sure.
His appearance, makes him seem like one kind of those...
He's as stupid as one?
Yeah, exactly. We're agreeing on that for sure, Reed. But that's what makes this not a legitimate rivalry. He's a joke, Reed. Nothing he says can be taken seriously. He's obviously out there just to poke at people and get people upset. I think Auburn and every other SEC school is above this.
But that's what legitimate rivalries are all about. Think about the Auburn-Alabama rivalry, Will. That was not a rivalry based on two teams who are competing at the same level. That was about Bear Bryant calling Auburn a cow college and all this kind of... Right. That's what rivalries are about. It's about smack talk. It's about, 2x4s and people, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and people like that, building this into a big deal. And that's exactly what Brett Bielema is doing. Right. And, it's perfect.
We couldn't take this guy seriously before he got to the SEC, Reed. He already, while in the Big Ten, was calling out the SEC. Mm-hmm. There's any room for the Big Ten to call out the SEC. Why would he even do that? And then once he gets here, people are like, why are you doing that?
Because he's a heel. He's a heel, Will. Haven't you watched enough wrestling to know
he's a heel?
A heel in wrestling, that's the guy who's like the doofus who shows up and then he gets the smackdown literally.
You watch too much wrestling.
Well, you don't need to watch a lot to understand it. And here's the thing. This is what makes this a fun rivalry now to watch. Arkansas is not going to win any of the games. Don't get me wrong, right? They're going to be terrible.
Not just against Auburn, any game.
Yeah. But every time they play now, and Gus is from Arkansas, right? This is going to turn into a legitimate, bigger deal. It's going to make the whole Saban, Les Miles thing look like nothing.
No, I'm not buying it. That's a real rivalry.
Well, listen, Will, you're forgetting. It's not even just Brett Bielema, right? It wasn't his wife the one who was getting in trouble with tweets and things of that nature.
We can talk about his wife. Let's do that.
No, that's not what I was trying.
Let's Google some pictures.
I don't think that's a good idea. It wasn't long ago that the Alabama LSU game was the game of the century of the year, but this year feels different. Is this year's contest even really that big of a deal at all?
Is this a big deal? Of course, what is this? Auburn, Arkansas? Of course this is a huge deal, Reed. It's Alabama LSU. 2 years ago, it's the game of the century. Yeah. Later that year, it was the game of the century. Last year, it was the game of the century.
It's a good point.
I mean, Reed, all of a sudden, it's not going to be the game of the century. It's still the game of the century.
No, it's definitely not a game of the century. And it really, technically, you're only supposed to have one of those anyway. Look, here's the thing, Will. That was 2 years ago. It was a big deal, right? Last year, I guess, sort of a big deal.
Last year, it came down to the last drive. Reed.
Yeah, sure, I remember.
Screen pass. We yelled and...
Yeah, I understand all that. But listen, this year is different, Will. LSU has lost not only to Georgia, who's not a terribly good football team this year, but
a great football team just with injuries, Reed.
Okay, but then they lost to Ole Miss as well, and Ole Miss is not a good football team at all.
Everyone has a down day, Reed, and that's what happened with LSU. I mean, it's still LSU, Reed. They beat Auburn, who's now showing to be a top 10 team.
Yeah, but they even still
beat them handily.
Yeah, but that was not too handily. I mean, Auburn came back and really won the second half of that game after having a miserable start to the game, right? So look, here's the point, Will. This is not that big of a deal. I think there are some Alabama students who are already thinking about leaving this football game, and it hasn't even started yet, right? That's true. I think you're going to find that in the end, this this is going to be a blowout. Les Miles, all the LSU fans are going to start this, whole fire Les Miles thing. I think this is really the beginning of the end for him.
No.
Mettenberger is going to really even be more disgraced than he has been previously in his career. I think it's a bad situation.
LSU always plays Alabama hard no matter what. That's going to happen again this time.
Well, we'll see after the game's over, Will. I think that I'm gonna pick Alabama by 2,400 points.
Picking Alabama to win, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The game of the century.
Yeah, we'll see.
Up next, Reed, it's time for the fight of the century with former Alabama linebacker Eryk Anders. Right after he finished playing linebacker at Alabama, Reed, Eryk Anders was looking for some more violence, so he got into wrestling.
Yeah, he's taking that whole rivalry thing we talked about and agree to disagree pretty seriously, I guess.
Absolutely. So we went up to Huntsville and actually did some wrestling with him. Reed, we've disagreed about things our whole entire life. And now, of course, with agree to disagree, it's just gone to a whole new level. I think there's only one way to solve it, and that's why we've come here to the Maverick Training Center in Huntsville, Alabama, with, of course, Eryk Anders. He's big into wrestling these days, and, of course, I have been my whole life, so...
You're wearing your outfit there, I see. Yeah, he's going to show us how to fight it out today, Will, and settle things once and for all. And maybe once we're done, catch a drink here. It looks like they have something called a Muay Thai. Sounds delicious. So I say we get in there and let Eryk show us all we need to know about fighting.
Off the top rope with a suplex.
Yeah, we'll learn all about all that stuff.
You figure I'll use a figure four?
A figure four? What is that?
Well, that's when I wrap my legs around your head, I think.
Oh, no, I don't think that sounds good. I was going to say we could use the sweep the leg move, but that's actually like a real fighting thing. That's from Karate Kids.
I'm not interested in being hurt.
No. Today's just fake fighting for us.
Reed, while former Alabama player Eryk Anders is pretending to fight in the next room, let's go ahead and warm up and hit the gym ourselves.
Yeah, we also going to do an acting class, Will?
Might as well. So Eryk Anders, clearly you've already been doing some fighting today.
And maybe some acting in the other room,
some
possibly.
fighting.
Yeah.
And we've actually been training over here while we're waiting on you.
And even though it's fake fighting, Eryk, this is tough stuff. It's
There's nothing fake about this. It's as real as it gets.
Well, now I thought with all the elbows and stuff, you're actually making contact?
Oh, yeah.
No, wait. So you're expecting us actually to fight today?
Absolutely.
I one time played a boxing video game when I was a child and wound up crying after that. So I'm a little concerned. Maybe you need to teach us something about actually fighting then.
Yeah, it's a little different than Mike Tyson punch-out. How about I show
Please
y'all
don't remind me. Sure, okay, yeah.
How about I show y'all some combos and some submissions real quick?
Okay, great.
I don't mind that, but look, let's do this. Let's bring in our intern, Adam, because I actually don't want to get hit at all.
All right, Adam, come on in. Yeah.
All right.
Safety equipment?
No, don't worry about that.
No, you're fine. All right, so what's the move here we need to learn?
Basic Muay Thai combo, and it's just a simple 1, 2, and follow it up.
Okay.
One.
All right. So
Okay.
it's just a 1,
2, and then
All right.
there we go. Yeah,
There you go, something like that.
That's good.
Not bad.
Oh, I'll show y'all a real naked choke right quick. We got.
Okay, now
Is
this
this
is
like
a family
sleep-
show, so let's be okay.
Is this like a sleeper hold?
Oh yeah. We'll be on the ground. You know.
Okay. And don't hurt me. I'll do that to Adam.
All right.
All right.
Now I'm gonna take one hand, come underneath the neck,
Yeah.
and just squeeze.
That's when you die.
That was a lot like riding a long
Yeah.
flume ride
Right.
until that last part there. Yeah, that was
Adam down.
And then before you go to sleep, tap out and
Yeah.
let go.
All right. Ready?
Hold on, let me help you out here real quick.
Oh, there we go. That'll kill him quicker.
There you
Yeah.
go. Something like that.
Yeah. Ah. There you go, buddy. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm not even going to try that.
Not bad.
I kind of feel like we're not going to really understand this until we get in there and kind of scrap it up a little bit. Can we maybe spar with you or something?
Yeah,
or?
sure, absolutely. Let's go.
All
Okay,
right,
but I'm going to get
thanks.
some safety equipment though. So yeah, okay, let's go do that. Yeah.
For an amateur, they're 3 3-minute rounds, and as a professional, they're 3 5-minute rounds.
So we're going 5 minutes around?
Let's maybe go like 1 30-second round or
Oh,
something.
no, hang on. Let's not give up too soon, Reed. And then there are 12 rounds?
3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Just three, just three.
Yeah, well, it's like you've already had a head injury, Will.
Yeah, well, all that training.
Okay, so I think the best thing to do here now is for you to beat the crap out of Will. I'm gonna back out a little bit so you guys can spar, so you can show him the ropes, and then you and I'll spar later. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, I'm gonna just back away.
Okay. All right, how do I quit? How do I quit?
You gotta either tap out or just say I quit.
Well, I'm not ready. Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it. So, what would you say is tougher, playing football and getting hit that way, or getting hit in the ring in MMA?
Definitely MMA, you know, especially when you're in there in an actual fight. The gloves are 4 ounces, and I don't got a helmet or shoulder pads or thigh pads or anything like that. So,
All right, now Eryk, before we start, remind me, how do I quit?
you either tap out or you just verbally
Just
say
I
you quit.
Can I say uncle? Does that
Yeah,
work also?
yeah.
Okay, I tap.
I'm still a bit out of breath, but I thought that was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, thumbs up. That went well.
In fact, I think it went so well, Reed and I are probably ready to fight each other, right?
Yeah, I might want to ease into that and train for a little bit, you know, a few months.
Oh, no, I think
before
we're
you-
good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Y'all
everything.
grown, man. Y'all.
But I appreciate
Do
the
what you-
training.
yeah,
That was
absolutely.
definitely- You all right, Will? You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome to Iron Brawl 2014. In the red corner, weighing in at 151 pounds, will he try this time Lockamy? And in the blue corner, weighing in at 175 pounds, Reed him and Wheat Lockamy. The following moves are illegal in this bout: headbutting, groin punching, head stomping, timidity, hair pulling, spitting, and fish hooking.
Double ice cream.
Put him up, put him up.
Will, how do you know if you have a broken spleen?
Have you been bleeding?
I have, out of one of my nipples. Is that a spleen?
That's a spleen, all right.
That's what I was worried about.
Somebody who knows a little bit about hurting people, Reed, former Alabama offensive lineman John Hanna. Let's meet him at the top of Vulcan. Reed, it's time for rapid fire questions on the grill with former Alabama offensive lineman John Hanna. Ready?
All right, here we go. Better Hanna, John Hanna, Jack Hanna, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Hannah Montana, or Hannah and her sisters?
I like the one where that girl was trained as a vigilante and went after the spy. Her name was Hannah. There was a movie that she was probably the toughest one I've
Hannah
seen.
Montana?
Not even on the list. It
Not
might
on the
have.
list, but it was a good one.
Okay, I'll take it. Very good.
Does it set a bad example when college football coaches eat grass?
Well, I would think so.
Yeah, most
Not good for
definitely.
the kids.
Where is the Gus bus going?
I don't even know what the Gus bus is.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer
He's yet
right
to
there.
hop on.
Yep. Should Will Muschamp change his last name to Muschamp?
yeah, absolutely.
It's getting pretty ugly down
Yeah,
there.
It is.
bad.
Yeah. All right. How many national championships has Alabama won?
Is it 13, I believe, maybe 14?
It's hard to pin down.
It's
It
hard to
depends.
pin down,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's a bunch of them.
It's a bunch.
Yeah.
It's a bunch.
How will football be different in 20 years?
If it keeps going, it'll be kind of like basketball.
So squeaky.
Or badminton?
Ooh.
Or badminton could
Yeah.
be, yeah.
How many times have you gotten away with holding?
Oh, about 30 or 40 times every game.
I was about to say, how many plays are there in a game?
Just 30 or 40. All right, guard makes sense, but why is tackle an offensive line position?
I never have figured that out myself. It just doesn't fit.
It doesn't make it's against the rules. You're not supposed to tackle.
That's right.
It's like Les Miles.
Although a
Makes
lot
us-
do now.
They do. No, that's right. Yeah. And get away with it.
Absolutely.
Should defenders have to count to 5 Mississippi before rushing the passer?
No, absolutely not.
Why don't offensive linemen ever win the Heisman Trophy?
They did. Pudge Heffelfinger was the first Heisman Trophy winner.
Now-
He was an offensive guard.
Surely that's not a real name you're just
Pudge
saying.
Heffelfinger was played at Yale.
Pudge Heffelfinger?
I think we should bleep that.
You got to look that up.
Pudge Heffelfinger.
Look it up.
Pudge
verify
Heffelfinger.
it.
He's about to be my favorite name
You
ever.
got to understand history football.
There you go. Okay, very good. It's so chilly, I say we hit the elevator.
All right.
Very good.
So I'm trying to decide if we should talk more about concussions or paying players. Let's start with concussions. Do you think this is actually the epidemic that people are acting like it is?
There's a lot of issues with concussions. Matter of fact, I've been tested, and my short-term memory's kind of weak.
Should I ask you that again?
Huh?
Should I ask that question
What?
again? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, because you played in the NFL for how many years?
Played 13 years in the NFL.
And, you know, what's interesting to me about the concussion talk is that it's not these big hits that maybe really are the biggest problem, but a lot of that, what's that like when you're playing offensive line? What's the contact like in there?
Well, it's a lot different now, and I wouldn't know how to tell you now, but,
Right.
you know, because we did lead with our heads. I mean, you know, basically when we got a face mask, they said, "Good spirit, that's a good ram." So
Right.
we went at it. We also, at that time, we had head slaps were legal, clotheslines were legal.
Clotheslines?
There are a lot of things. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, that's how we picked up the safety blitz. We were taught to clothesline a guy.
There's a very serious wrestling theme throughout
know,
all
right?
of tonight's show. It's crazy.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
the game has changed already. Some of those things, like you just
Oh yeah,
said,
they're
are now
all
illegal.
taken out. Yeah.
No.
But still, you know, anytime, like we were talking, you know, your brain has like yogurt. That's all it is. And
Delicious.
so anytime you stop real hard, that brain's going to hit the skull. And when
Yeah.
it does, it's going to cause damage. So you're never going to really eliminate concussions. The key is I think, is to test a guy, you know, determine what his baseline is with his short-term memory, with his reasoning skills, with his verbal skills, those kind of
Right.
things. And when you start seeing it decline, you go to him and say, "Hey, here's what's happening. Make a decision."
I'd like to test you now. Do you remember going to the top of Vulcan?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, good. But you're still good
That
to
was
play.
a highlight. It's
That's
just
it.
those little things.
Right.
Names are not real good. I
That's
guarantee
right.
you
All
that.
right, well, let's see how fast you are with
No.
a thing we like to call word association. This is
okay.
where we'll give you a word. You very quickly have to give us the first thing that pops into your non-concussed head. Ready?
Ready?
All right.
All right, here we go. Word association. Fake injuries.
Wimp.
Bear Bryant.
Tough.
Offensive lineman.
Smart.
Nick Saban.
Great recruiter.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
The Iron Bowl.
Non-existent.
Ooh.
Not the Iron Bowl out.
Oh, yeah, there we go. BCS.
A concoction of the NCAA.
Oregon Ducks.
Quack.
Quack, quack.
The Ohio State.
Overrated.
Roll Tide.
Champs.
Good
Great.
answers.
Yeah, no kidding. Well
Good
played.
answers.
For sure. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time for This Is Your Life with former Alabama offensive lineman John Hanna. Welcome back to the Iron Bowl Hour. I'm Will, that's Reed, and that's former Alabama offensive lineman John Hanna.
Now, the thing we want to ask you about at this point is lots been made about, is this a dynasty that Alabama has going on? Realistically, how long can this train stay on the track? Are they going to win the national championship this year? Where do you see this going?
You never know if they're going to win a championship this year. You always hope they do.
Right.
But there's so many things that can go wrong. I mean, the football's shaped awful funny, and it takes some crazy bounces. So you just never know.
But not much with Alabama. I mean, you kind of know this is a machine.
You know, it's a machine, and there's no reason why they can't. But there's a lot of things that can happen, and you got to be on the up and up all the time.
As great of a coach as Saban is, a lot of people obviously want his talent. Do you think he ever leaves Alabama to coach somewhere else, or is there is there anything else in his future professionally?
I would hope not. I think he's got a home here. I think the people love him. I think he's done a great job, and I think he should live here in Alabama. There's not a greater place to live in Alabama.
Well, that's something we can definitely agree on. Here's something we can't agree on. We have 2 employees that wrote some facts about your life. We're trying to figure out which one to fire. Their names are Elizabeth and Angie. So we're going to read these facts to you. You confirm them or deny them in a little thing we call This Is Your Life. Ready?
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here is a fact about you. Your nickname is Hog.
Yes, that's true.
That's
Confirmed.
true. Hog.
Yep.
That sounds more like an Arkansas thing.
Well, no, I was blocking a guy on goal line, and I was turning my feet, and my coach said, way to root hog him out of there. And everybody started calling me Hog.
Done deal.
All right.
You are the best offensive lineman of all time.
That's in the eye of the beholder. People have said that, but that's whoever sees it's just.
I was going to say, a lot of eyes have beheld that, right?
I think Sports Illustrated said that, right?
Sports Illustrated did say that.
No, just stick with it. Yeah.
Nice. Go with it, yeah.
Okay. You won a national championship as a wrestler.
I did in high school.
The high school national, they have such a thing.
National Preps in Lehigh, Pennsylvania.
How about that?
There
So
you go.
far, 3 for 3. I'm hoping this next one's false so we can fire you-know-who.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. You weighed 11 pounds at birth.
That can't be true.
That's false.
That can't be true.
I weighed 10 pounds and 8 ounces.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
your poor mother.
How does your mom hate you? What's the?
No, she big woman.
Yeah. Oh,
My
okay,
mom was
well.
about 5'9", 5'10", weighed about 145, 150. So she's
You're
a
a
big
brave man.
We can bleep all that out.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Woo. How about that? We won't tell
woman. You
what
don't
our
have to
mom
leave that
weighs.
out. She's proud of it. She's tough, man. She was a tough lady.
Done. So says the hog.
Yeah, our mom only weighs pounds. What?
Wow.
Well,
Well,
that-
let's wrap this up.
that's all the time we have for
Yes.
this edition of the Iron Bowl Hour. I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
Roll Eagle Reed.
And War Tide Will.
Don't forget to follow us and interact with us via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at the Iron Bowl Hour. You can also come see our radio show, Oh Brother Radio, every Thursday, live from Iron City from 7 to 9 p.m. on Birmingham Mountain Radio.
Now, Will, let's get out of here. I'm supposed to report to the Wonka Chocolate Factory in 30 minutes.
Promotional consideration provided by Express Helicopters at the Birmingham International Airport, specializing in charters, tours, news, and events. And Vulcan Park and Museum, home to the world's largest cast iron statue, spectacular views, and indoor and outdoor exhibits that recount the region's history, as well as the story of the iconic 56-foot-tall statue that has become the beloved symbol of Birmingham.
Without a doubt, this is
right.
not only is
Wait.
it a legitimate rivalry, but it's like a grudge match.
Sorry, I
This is
forgot
a-
what side I was
Oh,
thinking.
okay.
Here we go. Sorry. We're going to tell you these facts. You tell us if they're true or false, okay? There's a little thing we call agree to...
No, we don't.
Dadgummit.
One spot. Alabama businesses now have access to a centralized statewide electronic filing and remittance system for sales, use, and rental taxes, allowing city and county taxes to be filed along with state taxes through a single website, myalabamataxes.alabama.gov.